Evening all. How we all doing? Hope we're all having a great night. So I had a situation that crossed my path a short time ago. Uh, had a gentleman that how weird things always happen where I have these weird conversations with people and I'm obliged to help out. Um, he was kind of going through a situation that happened to me years ago, and he gave it to me in full detail, and I was really surprised on how close it resonated with my situation, even though my situation was probably 20 years ago, or not quite that long ago, but close enough. Um, so let me give it to you in a short version. So he walked in on uh, his partner doing the dirty with somebody else, like legitimately walked in on it. Well, I didn't walk in to it on my situation. Pretty much the person in my question actually called me, and she was actually in the middle of doing the deed. And so it related, but yet it was different, which situations are always different. And so me and this gentleman, we got talking and we got relating and we got going through the situation and trying to help each other kind of figure out our individual situations, but doing it as a group, right? Doing where two or more come together, you get a lot more figured out that way. Um, he wasn't sure on how to handle it, and he asked me. He's like, "So how'd you handle your situation?" And I said, "Well, let me give it to you in the short version. I realized what it was, and then I realized real short after how to handle it. And it wasn't to get angry. It wasn't to get all yelling and screaming, and it wasn't to cause a scene. And it wasn't to get into a fight or anything. It was very simple. I turn myself around, and I walk away from the situation clean cut, no issues. And the guy walked, and the guy pretty much legitimately said, "Well, how do you do that?" And I said, "It's very simple. It's very simple. Turn yourself around and walk out the door. Walk away from it. Be gone. Obviously, if that stuff's going to go on, you don't need to be there anymore." And we got talking about it a little bit more, and we got talking about it a little bit more, and I got a little bit more of an understanding of the situation. And obviously, there were kids involved, so that's going to cause some conflict and some problems. And then he asked me, "Well, what would you do?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't have any kids, so obviously I can't relate to you in this. But what I can do is I can tell you that your best bet is to get away, because if she's gonna do it once, she's gonna do it again. That's psychology. If someone cheats and acts in this way once, you can rest assured they're gonna do it again." Until some kind of intervention comes into play there. But hopefully, the intervention is you walking away and letting them think about what they just did. Because that situation is, it's uncomfortable, yes, for you or for the person walking in on that or picking up the phone and hearing it being done. But uh, the only reaction is the most positive reaction. and that is just to walk away. That is just to hang up the phone. That is just to close the door. That is just to get away. Do what needs to be done to just leave the situation. And the crazy part is I'm bringing this up and I'm talking about this gentleman situation. Is also I've been hearing about this a lot lately. For whatever reason, I've been having this situation come to my doorstep a lot lately. So obviously that situation from years ago, the guy situation, and everybody coming up to me with this relevant situation that they're going through, is either my past is coming back to help me reflect on something, or there is something else afoot. Excuse me. Because there is always the thing where the past does come back. Seems like this is happening all the time right now. And I guess me and the gentleman that I was talking with are only questions to the air, because obviously the people that we had to go through the situation weren't there to ask them. But the question that we both had was why. Why? Because he looked at me and he simply asked, do you think there's a good reason for it? And I'm like, no. There's no good reason. There's none. I could have 100 people lined up in front of me, and I can ask them to give me a possible excuse that's valuable and that holds enough weight for it to be a worthwhile thing to do that. And then I will look up in every psychological book, every self-help book on psychology that I can come up with, and I will guarantee you the answer to those questions, or the answer to those excuses, or the answers to those possible reasons are going to be no. I guarantee there's a lot of folks out there in the collective right now that are dealing with that too, or on some variance, on some whatever, right? You walk in on somebody and you're just like, right? For some of us, we get angry. For some of us, we react, right? The only reaction you should do, or I shouldn't say should, the only reaction that is valuable to do is to walk away. Turn around and walk. Because remember, sometimes the best reaction is no reaction. But I love you guys. Until next time.